Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast today. It is Saturday the 17th. Get all the obstacles out of the way, except for this fire extinguisher, which is going to cause problems. They are running a half a unit. They started at about an hour ago. It's about 6 in the evening, I think. It was off all day today. Fishing is pretty slow today for most people. Saw a few fish caught, but it was pretty slow. I'm using the sculpin. This is got lead eyes. It's a very heavy fly, and it imitates a banded sculpin that we have in the lake. Been throwing for a minute out here. I've been throwing some different streamers, and I tied one of these on here a minute ago and threw my second cast. A fish hit it and jumped. When he hit it, he broke my line, and he jumped about 20-inch rainbow. But the problem was, and I took it was really stupid. I tied it on some tippet that I had already tied on, and I believe it was 5X. Well, you really shouldn't use a fly, especially this heavy, or a streamer, nothing less than, say, 4X, 3X, 2X. For that reason, your strikes come hard and fast, and a lot of times you'll break off, which I did. Didn't even set the hook, just broke it. So I got it on anchor mode. I'm going to take it off. We're going to drift, cast a little while. I do have a mega worm on this other rod that I was going to try, but since I broke off a big fish on the sculpin, yep, it's already causing a problem. I might step back a little bit. Who put this here? Okay. This is pretty similar to a jig, really. It does have a different action. I'm sitting a little bit on the shallow side of center of the lake. Which I wouldn't mind being a little bit further over on the shallow side, which I'm going to move just a little bit. And the reason is I don't have a sink tip or anything on here, and I got a fairly short leader, so it's not gonna sink a lot. So I want to fish 3-4 foot of water, so I know the fish, even on the bottom, can see it and rise up and hit it. It's a fly that you want to fish pretty close to the bottom anyhow, because it's imitating a fish that lives on the bottom and doesn't really swim up much at all. Fire extinguisher. The wind is out at south today. It's been blowing pretty good this afternoon. I think we now have another front coming through, bringing some rain tomorrow. Cooler temperatures. And it is blowing out of the west, so it's blowing in my back and blowing me away from the south side. So I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. Ooh. Well, if they're going to come up and start taking midges, I've seen a lot of midges on the surface, but they really haven't been on the surface feeding, so if they start, I'm going to throw something on the surface. One's making it a little tough. It would be a lot easier to throw something under a float, like a mega worm or a micro jig. Which I might do here in a minute. They're not supposed to run the water a long time, just for an hour or two. You do tend to catch bigger fish throwing these streamers too. I'm stepping on my line. These are good at use at night, up here or up below the dam. Typically, sculpins are the favorite food of brown trout, but rainbows, they live long enough and they get big enough, they start eating sculpins too. I'm using a 5-weight rod, which is a little light for throwing this heavy of a fly. So it's a little awkward, but not, I can manage it. Ideally, you want to throw a 6-weight. Couple more chances. Blake has been fishing up at Bennett Springs, one of our Missouri trout parks, and he said he caught fish on a lot of things, but he said the #1 fly was the mega worm. I think he said chartreuse or white. So they really like that mega worm at Bennett Springs. He is fishing this evening with his parents. They are up above me in one of our boats. Well, I was really hoping catch one on a streamer on camera. I did try throwing a black woolly bugger, and then I threw a what we call a white pine squirrel. And on the pine squirrel, all I could get him to do is nip at it. I could not even get close to hooking a fish. I only got 2 or 3 little nips. But after I broke that rainbow off, I thought, man, I'm going to try this scoping and if I can catch one on one cast. Okay, one more cast. I'm going to go to the mega worm. I fished last night up here with the mega worm and caught a real pretty 18-inch brown, no, I'm sorry, 19.5-inch brown rainbow. What am I saying? I still hadn't caught a brown in a long time. I am going to try one more thing real quick. I'm going to throw down below the boat and hit the trolling motor and slow myself down and kind of let it swing down below the boat and retrieve it. If the wind will let me. Okay. I really like to try different things up here because you never know what you're going to find that's going to work and be really effective. Gotta get a new stick for the float. Okay. I'm gonna go about 4 feet deep. Get the yarn wet. There we go. Whoa. Why'd you do that? Okay. Try to keep the boat moving about the same speed as the float. There's a chop on the water, so it's working the float. It works the mega fly a little bit, so still like to move the float occasionally just to make sure I don't have a lot of slack between the rod tip and the float. I want to fish it pretty close to the bottom, if not on the bottom. But it doesn't make a lot of difference if it's not on the bottom. They'll still hit it. Phil. Sorry, I was looking at my trolling motor. And my float's head upstream. In fact, I need to look at my worm. Yeah, it's good. Okay, as I work my way over to the deeper side, I need to readjust the depth just a little bit. I think I'm going to fish down just a little bit further, and then I'm going to go ahead and run through the narrows and start at the lower end again, not to mess these guys up. Now to work around them. Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go on down. Do what?
You have an outboard on the front.
Pretty much.
That trolling motor's powerful.
Yeah, it's a Garmin.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, I'm about halfway down through the Narrows. Water's still moving pretty good. Well, I'm gonna move out a little shallower water, get out of this deep channel. Glare on the water, I really can't see the bottom very well. There's the bottom. Really perfect right here. So I'm kind of fishing the edge of the channel. There we go. There's fish jumping behind me in that shallow water back there. One of these days I need to fool around and see if I can fish that shallow water. Because I know there's a lot of fish back there. They don't get bothered too bad at all. Yeah, I like this. Oh, might have been a fish. I really am fishing this too deep. Should have adjusted. Kind of lose track of which direction the trolling motor's pointing. No, mega worm's not working. Really does kind of seem like this is either a real hot fly or it's a real cold fly. But one thing it does do is catch bigger fish, so. Looked like a bite, but it could have been the bottom. There we go. He's not that big, I don't think. You wouldn't think I'd get him in the tail. That's possible, I guess. It feels like I got him in the tail now. I just pulled, oh, he broke off. Pulled off, good. Or did he break off? No, he pulled off. I had him in the tail. Check my fly. You always want to see that line take off and your reel spin like that, but if you got him in the tail, might as well just try to get him back in and get him off. They definitely have the advantage. I don't know, he must have been looking at it or something. Who knows how they get hooked in the tail with something that's just floating by. go, guys. Let me run over to the shallow side bank real quick. I'm going to adjust the float to go a little bit more shallow. Not very deep, even more than that, about 2 feet. And there was a fish right there. Doggone it. This really is one of my favorite banks to fish. Normally holds fish a lot, feeding fish, good population of midges, especially scuds. Just had another bite. Should have came over here first. I think it is dragging the bottom too. No, that was a fish. I'll back out just a little bit. Oh yeah, he ran off with that. They do tend to hit it on the drop when it's dropping a lot of times. Kind of like a jig. Ooh, there's a fish up there feeding. Several. You can tell they get up in that shallow water, and when they start digging around in the gravel, you'll see their tail fins come up. worm's got some stuff on it. And while it's here, I'm gonna make it about 18 inches deep, if that. Wasn't even looking, my float was gone. And I got one of the little juveniles. These are some of the fish that we've been catching that are natural reproduction. Wow. Pretty little fish. He's up there in that shallow water trying to stay away from the big rainbows and browns. There are a lot of fish up there feeding. That was a fish. Fish right back here. Throw right back here. Starting to get dark on me. Oh, that's cute. Hits my float. They're midging up there all around my float. So I know they're right there, but they're not interested in the worm. All it takes is one. There was one. And I know there's some big fish that feed on this flat too, so. Last cast. Got herons down there. He's sneaking up on a fish. You know, herons average 7 trout a day is what they eat. That's more than we can take. And there are a lot of herons. Come on, eat it. Sorry, I gotta do one more time. I gotta go in a little further. Oh, slap the water. That's not good. Oh, that was a fish. Again. Hit on the drop. I guess that slap didn't bother him. I saw one up there feeding, and I kind of put it on his head. Okay, my worm's messed up. No fish today. A little bit of action. You can sit here and watch this heron catch one probably. He's up there in 3 inches of water, I guess. I guarantee he's got fish around his feet. So thanks for watching. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we'll see.